Powell's Books. If the weather, well, if you want to curl up with some great books as the temperatures get cooler, we have some options for your winter reading list, and who better to run down the best options but Miriam Santz, the CEO of Powell's Books. Miriam, I take it you do a lot of reading.
I do a lot of reading, and it's a pleasure to be here with you.
I feel like royalty, CEO of Powell's Books in our studio here.
I'm glad to be here.
I just poked around a moment ago, and you really brought us quite a variety of different topics. So let's start with the corner pocket over here.
Okay, we have Deb Perlman, who is writing her second book. She's Smitten Kitchen, the blog online. She has over 2 million followers, and this book is a continuation of her everyday cooking. She is somebody who just loves to cook for her family. She has 2 young kids, and that book is just a delight to read. And in the wintertime, I think you like to cozy up with some cookbooks and some thick reads. And one of my favorite coffee mugs to go with it is one that says, "Go away, I'm reading." And we take this very seriously at my house.
Plainly, doesn't it? I like that.
I'm snobby about your reading there, in a sense, Miriam.
Next here, Kachka?
Kachka. We have about a dozen wonderful local area cookbooks coming out this fall, and I just chose one. There's a wonderful display at our store of many of them. And Kachka is a local Russian restaurant. They've been in business for maybe 4 or 5 years, very popular. And this has some of their most popular recipes, including a whole section on what they're famous for, their vodka infusions.
Wow. Oh, and beautiful photos.
Beautiful photos.
Yeah, I always say I'm not going to cook anything I can't see a picture of. But so are cookbooks amongst your best sellers in the store?
Yes, they are.
They are
to
this day.
Even with all the online cooking
You know,
that
there's
goes on,
something about browsing through a cookbook. It's sort of armchair travel. You get to go to somebody else's dinner table and look at what they're serving.
Cool. And this is another beauty on Obama. I mean, the pictures in this one look fantastic.
Well, we talked about the iconic, show the back of the book, Kathy, that iconic picture. Do you remember this photo, Kathy? It was on the news of the young man rubbing President Obama's head. It was so delightful. What the book itself is about?
So the book itself is a collection of 8 years of his photographs. This is Peter Sousa, who was the official photography of the Obama family during their tenure. And he has 1.6 million followers on Instagram.
Oh, wow.
And so what this book is saying is, you saw this picture and maybe you saw it on your phone and it was this big. Yeah. You get to see it in the book and it's real, beautiful, big size.
Obama, an intimate portrait.
And kind of sticking with history a little bit, President Grant.
Okay, so what we have next is the doorstopper nonfiction read of the fall season. It's by Ron Chernow. There's a lot of talk recently in the news media about the Civil War and what it means to us in our national consciousness. Here you have Ron Chernow, who is the author of Alexander Hamilton, which was the basis for the Broadway musical. And he has come back with another incredibly in-depth and innovative new look at Grant. And we all have an idea, potentially, maybe 2 sentences about Grant in our brain. One of them is that he was an alcoholic, and the other one was that he was a failure in many ways. And this book sort of traces the impact of not only his alcoholism, but his triumphs, the many triumphs he had over his lifetime.
At over 1,000 pages, it'll take you right into spring and summer.
Exactly. You don't have to do anything else for the fall season.
We like lots of pictures.
And this looks like a beauty, The Planets.
The Planets is another a beautiful photography book, and there are so many gorgeous books coming out this fall. This one is photographs from all the different NASA space probes that have occurred.
Really?
And so there is, and I put a picture.
Is this a fairly new
this is brand new.
New book? It is, just published.
New.
Okay.
And here is, for an example, the incredible solar flare on Venus. And it just shows you so many different ways of looking at the planetary system. And what I think this book, the Obama book, and many of the other large gift format books are saying is that you may have seen this on your phone, but until you've seen it in color in a large format, you really don't get the impact of what these photos mean.
I'm lost in the book, Kathy. Just continue.
I know, this is a meteorologist's dream right there.
Isn't it gorgeous? It's just incredible.
Legacy?
The next one is Legacy by Chuck Palahniuk. And he's a local favorite. He's a very local favorite. And if you like Chuck, you're going to love this. And he's a particular taste. But he's been doing these things, which are his incredibly intricate, fantastical allegories. And he has married it up with a coloring book. So you can open it up, and there are sort of an interactive ways of doing this. And he's going to be in our store on this Sunday at noon signing these books. And if you're a Chuck fan, a signed edition is a wonderful gift.
Very neat. Want to wrap it up with one last title?
One last title? Oh, that's so hard.
All right, go ahead.
It looks like they picked out Lee Child,
Jack Reacher. This is the 22nd Lee Child, Jack Reacher, and he's as good as he's ever been. It's a thrilling, wonderful read, and you know, lots of these things are heavy and important. This is the one that, you know, it's sort of the popcorn of the group.
Escape.
What
are you reading right now?
Right now, I'm reading a book that's called How to Get Rich. How to Get Filthy Rich in Rising Asia, and it's a fictionalized account of a man's journey, life in India. And
Fantastic.
It's a wonderful short novel, and it is by the same author as the Portland Reads, which is the book coming out in the spring. So I decided I'd read that.
So you've selected Planets.
I like the Planets.
I'm going with Legacy.
Okay.
It looks like the shortest one.
The last one, Leonardo da Vinci, because I'm going to talk about Leonardo. It's another wonderful book to read.
So again, Miriam Saunce, the CEO of Pals, it's so nice to meet you.
It's a pleasure being
for coming
here.
in, and we'll be back after this.